Will this Super Bowl be too big of a challenge for the GOAT?
Yeah, for Tom Brady, it will be too big of a challenge. For the Buccaneers, to be decided. But for Tom Brady, it's going to be too big of a challenge. So it sounds outlandish, but you have to think the playoffs thus far have challenged Tom Brady.
Don't you?
Remember the playoffs thus far, 55% completion percentage against Washington. 54% completion percentage against the Saints. 55% completion percentage against the Packers. Understood. Win, win, win for the Buccaneers.
All I do is
win, 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 no matter what. That's what the Buccaneers have done. However, you asked me, is it too big of a challenge for Tom Brady? Before you can win a game, everybody has to try to win their individual battles. Let's be real. Tom Brady didn't win his individual battle against Aaron Rodgers. The Buccaneers won the battle against the Packers, but Brady didn't win the battle against Aaron Rodgers. I think Tom Brady is going to face a challenge individually. We saw what happened when he tried to play the Chiefs Week 12. He had 3 touchdowns. Yes, he did great offensively as far as that output, but defensively as far as protecting the ball, not so good. The reason I do think it'll be a challenge is because I looked at Tom Brady versus the elite quarterbacks this year. Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. And how did Tom Brady fare, and how did they fare? And if you look at it, when he went head-to-head against the quarterback's elite, 60% completion percentage to their 65, 79 passer rating to their 91. 12 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions to their 13 passing touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He had 4 games with 2+ interceptions. That is against the elite. He's going once again, Marcellus, against the elite.
Oh, the elite.
So you ask me, is it too big of a challenge for Tom Brady?
Oh, my question.
Yes, for Tom Brady, it's too big of a challenge. But for the Buccaneers, I'm not saying it's too big of a challenge. Brady specifically, that's a different answer.
Brady plays on what team?
Buccaneers.
Oh, okay. Separate those two. You want to? I don't want to. This is not too big of a challenge for the GOAT, for Tom Brady. Oh, okay, let me just start off with a sentence that is mind-blowing. Tom Brady has been to more Super Bowls than every franchise in NFL history, except one. The one he helped go to 9 Super Bowls in the New England Patriots. 31 other cities out there outside of him in New England can sit there and look and say, y'all don't even understand the magnitude of this moment. Acho, you and I don't understand the magnitude of this moment, but Tom Brady does. Tell me this, Acho. If Nick Foles and Trent Dilfer in their first year with a new team were able to go to the Super Bowl and be victorious, I think Tom Brady's going to be okay. I think he's going to be on fine. Just a good challenge. Oh, you want to bring up resume, how he got here. And the fact that in this moment, how are you, Tom Brady? I ask you the same question. Patrick Mahomes, how are you in this Super Bowl moment? Because last time I checked, Nipsey Hussle. Last time I checked, your boy had a 78 quarterback rating. Your boy was struggling for 3 quarters. Your boy was looking at Jimmy GQ as the game MVP before he had that miraculous 4th quarter, and I give him credit for that. But try and win a 4th quarter comeback against the GOAT in his 10th Super Bowl, Tom Brady. You know what's going to happen with that, a big fat L. You're trying to tell me that Tom Brady's not ready when he is properly dressed up with not only a defense that can go out there and take advantage of Patrick Mahomes and that offense, but more importantly, he has a balanced attack. Leonard Fournette, people want to sleep on Leonard Fournette. Don't sleep on him. Little Muscles over there is leading the league in the postseason in scrimmage yards and tied for touchdowns. Tom Brady knows all the time it's a team game. It's funny, we come up here and try to parse it and try to splice it and try to slice it up. But Tom Brady's coming fully equipped, and more equipped than with just his personnel, with the mindset, with the understanding. He's been through this more than not only any other player ever, but every other franchise in NFL history. So Tom Brady's ready for this challenge.
Let me ask you this, though, Sal. How can you look at Tom Brady in the playoffs? Look at his pedestrian performances by Brady standards. His 3 of his 4 worst completion percentages all season have come in the playoffs. The last game we just saw him in, 3 turnovers. Mind you, his last 5 possessions, 3 points and 3 picks. How can you actually look at Tom Brady's performance? Don't look at his name. Don't look at the name of the back of the jersey. Don't look at what he gave you over the last 20 years. Look at him right here, right now. How can you look at these performances and not think it's a challenge? He's been challenged thus far. I'm not saying anything novel.
Why do you look at Patrick Mahomes and just accept that he's just going to ball out in the Super Bowl when you only seen him one time in the Super Bowl and he ain't ball out? I don't understand why you want to look at Patrick Mahomes through a different lens than you do Tom Brady. Okay, let's do it, though, because it's entertainment. You said that what's he going to do against another elite quarterback in this moment, huh? Let's talk about what he's done against elite quarterbacks. Since you want to use
recently? Because I just showed you.
What do you mean recently?
I showed you.
I just used you recently against Patrick Mahomes, and you can't stand that argument. You don't want to go Patrick Mahomes recently in the Super Bowl. That's not good for you. So let's talk about
why is Patrick Mahomes in this argument, though? This is will Tom Brady, will the Super Bowl be too big of a challenge for Brady?
Who's challenging Tom Brady? He out there by himself. He won the game. Oh, it's an opponent. I'm going to talk about Tom Brady versus Tom Brady and elite quarterbacks. What happened when Kurt Warner walked on the scene? Remember that? Had the greatest show on turf, won his second MVP that season. The Rams, greatest show on turf. Not only that, maybe greatest offense we've ever seen. Patriots beat him. Okay, whatever. Peyton Manning, MVP. Patrick Mahomes been MVP before? Beat him. 03 and 04. Let's not move. Andrew Luck, remember the little hot start, young superstar, led the league in touchdown passes, beating Peyton Manning's Broncos to get to the Colts to the AFC Championship game. Got him out the way. Aaron Rodgers. Oh, my God. Likely MVP this year. Definitely the MVP by Saturday. What happened with him? The point is, put him in front of Tom Brady, going to mow him down. And he's been mowing him down his entire career, and Patrick Mahomes may not even have to get mowed down. He may duck down like he did in the Super Bowl last year.
Here's the thing, though. Tom Brady's not mowing these cats down. You gave me Tom Brady's Super Bowl when he was 24. You know,
and I gave you
when he was 27, he was 28.
And I gave you last week.
But I'm saying Tom Brady's not mowing these cats down. Tom Brady didn't play well, Sal. Like, he didn't even play well last week. 3
interceptions. You keep forgetting the pseudo punts. These are calculated risks.
No.
You got to read the articles, too.
What that is called is self-handicapping. Okay, we're going to throw a pick. We're going to call it a punt, Tom Brady, to protect yourself. I'd rather join because after you came out.
Okay, good. So you don't give respect to that?
No. I'm not going to give respect
to
a turnover and then being like, no, it was a punt, coach. It was a punt, coach.
No. How about this? It's third down. We're on our territory. You know, if we don't get a first down, guess what we about to do? Punt. Let's not try and just get a first down in this situation when we can risk it for the biscuit. Look, I'm not a risk it for the biscuit guy. Jameis Winston wasn't either because it undermined what he was doing in other facets of his game. But when Tom Brady is Mr. Dink and Dunk, and then you got a coach that's Mr. Risk It Biscuit, you got to come to a happy medium. I think that's their happy medium. Tom Brady's like, the only way I'm going to throw it down there if it's beneficial to us and not only moving the ball down the field in a punt situation, but also pinning the team back.
I can't, as a dude who was in the secondary at times, to throw a punt, to throw a pick and call it a punt,
I'm not there.
It don't make no sense.
It does make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
You don't agree with it, but it makes sense.
No, because
how did Mike Evans get the big bomb? How did Chris Godwin get the big bomb?
In those situations, when you're punting the ball, you actually have 8 men who's tasked with going down there and tackling the person. Bro. When you're throwing a pick, you have offensive linemen who aren't tasked with going down there and making a tackle.
You see any pick sixers? You see any pick sixers? You don't. Okay, move on. Move on with your point. You see any pick sixers?
With that being said, I'm not just going to skim over the fact that Brady didn't play well. That's what it comes down to. Like, we don't even got to say with all these gyrations, we don't even have to use outdoor voices. We could use very indoor voices and say, Marcellus, Brady hasn't played well. Go back to his last Super Bowl against the Rams. 0 touchdowns, 1 pick. They won because they held the Rams' prolific offense to 3 points. Brady hasn't played well. Come back to the playoffs this year.
Wow, that's what
Brady hasn't played well. Okay. Now, you can say, well, he outplayed Taylor Heineke. Congratulations. Did he outplay?
Oh, now it's opponent. Now it's opponent when it's a lesser opponent, but when it's a superior opponent or on his level, it's not opponent.
I just compared opponents. Even when he played Patrick Mahomes earlier this year, he got outplayed. When he played Aaron Rodgers recently, he got outplayed.
Did he self-correct when he got outplayed by Drew Brees? Not once, twice. What happened? That's the point. I don't want to use your argument against you, but you're forcing me.
He didn't self-correct. His defense played well. Me and you can meet there. Me and you can meet on the fact that the Buccaneers collectively will play well as a unit. The Buccaneers will collectively play well as a squad. But Tom Brady didn't really he got back to his average, right? I don't think Tom Brady is a no-touchdown, 3-interception guy like he was against the Saints.
Has Tom Brady been amazing in all of his Super Bowls? No. So what are you saying this challenge is different than any other challenge? Look, I don't know if you remember Kurt Warner, but Patrick Mahomes right now is Kurt Warner-ish. Like, Kurt Warner was destroying the league. And he was like, let's go get it. Now, you saying he didn't go get it by himself. That's not this conversation to me. Because the challenge is, what can I do as a team? And can we do collectively, using me and my abilities, you and your abilities, to go out there and meet the challenge. You just want to make it 1 on 11. That's fine. But look, what did 1 on 11 get Green Bay? What did 1 on 11 get Aaron Rodgers? What did 1 on 11 get Drew Brees? What did 1 on 11 get Taylor Heineke? The point is, it's never 1 on 11. If you want to have that conversation, Tom Brady has not played his best, but he's never had to play his best to win Super Bowl.
But he's also never had to play against his offense this prolific.
Greatest show on turf?
The Rams and what the Chiefs. Marcellus, Patrick Mahomes has averaged the most points of a quarterback in the playoffs.
Yes,
That's what I'm telling you. So the greatest show on turf had a great name.
Yes.
Had a phenomenal name.
Yes.
But Patrick Mahomes averages 34 points. We've never seen that before. Ever.
Exactly.
Ever.
But you also, now we're going to get into a conversation about the defense is going to have something to do with that, right? That's
Correct.
not Tom Brady.
That's where I'm at with you. That's where I'm at with you.
Right. So you're talking about a whole different situation where he's going to need his defense. I'm having that. I'm going to say this one more time. Tom Brady has never had to be perfect in the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, his best Super Bowl by individual performance, he lost.
That's the point. That is my point.
So why is this hold on. It's a futile effort to go out there and say, I'm going to save the day, because it's not going to happen.
So my point is this. Tom Brady, the challenge is, can you go out there and go blow for blow with Patrick Mahomes?
No, he does that.
The challenge.
He tried to do that with Nick Foles.
And he lost.
Thank you.
So the question is, will this be too big of a challenge? Yes.
Hold on. Is the ultimate goal of a challenge is to be victorious?
Correct.
So if it doesn't mean throw more punches, it means maybe I got to be a little better on my punches thrown. Maybe I got to be more selective with the punches thrown. Maybe I don't even have to take punches. Maybe I have to work on my defense. Me as an offensive player, work on my defense, protect the football, whatever it may be. But I think you're having a conversation is who's going to have better numbers? I'm not having that conversation. I'm saying the challenge. The challenge for him is based on the goal. The goal for him is to win. And I think that this challenge is not unsurmountable.
But okay, that's great. Then that's true.
Now you're my friend. Now you're my friend.
No, how do you beat the Chiefs? Because you don't
beat them trying to outscore them.
The only team that beat Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs this year was the Raiders. Put up 40. They beat them by outscoring them. So if you're talking about the 2012 Ravens, I'll ride with you. Like, hey, you just got to play great defense, play sound defense, and trust that Joe Flacco's not going to make great plays. But if you're telling me a challenge comes down to winning the game, the only way we've seen Patrick Mahomes get beat this year is by a team who put up 40, even when Patrick Mahomes put up mid-30s.
Yes.
Then Tom Brady is going to have to be the conduit. It's going to have to come down to Tom Brady.
Hold on. Okay. You give me when the Raiders beat them in the regular season.
Yes, sir.
And I say great numbers by you, Patrick Mahomes, greater numbers by Derek Carr and the Raiders. But then I say, well, Patrick Mahomes ain't going to be that guy in the Super Bowl. Why? Because I just saw him in the Super Bowl last year, and he wasn't that guy. But you want to go back to the regular season of this year.
Let me ask you this.
That's why we're disjointed in this conversation.
Are you going to skip over? What you're doing is skipping over Patrick Mahomes' recent greatness to go back to last year's Super Bowl. And what I'm doing is saying, look at Tom Brady's recent mediocrity. I'm not going to skip over his recent mediocrity to go to
recent mediocrity?
2002 Super Bowl. Recent mediocrity.
Since the Kansas City Chiefs game, Tom Brady has beaten Patrick Mahomes in all statistical categories and numbers. What are you talking about? Recent?
He didn't play. Mahomes didn't play in a game.
One game.
He didn't.
One game. One game. But I'm talking about per average. What are you talking about? I love you, Acho. We can't go to regular season when it helps your argument, but then we go to this moment.
We can go playoffs or we can go regular season.
I want to go to what this challenge is to Tom Brady. And can he be victorious in this challenge by his performance? Absolutely. But you think that only means going blow for blow for Patrick Mahomes. Let me give you this. When Patrick Mahomes was beat by quarterbacks, first of all, let's start in your Raiders example.
Yes, sir.
They beat him up front. 17 pressures on the quarterback that had an effect on him. You don't want to talk about that.
They beat him in big plays, too, though.
You don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes when he loses to other quarterbacks that, not so great. You know what happens in those situations? The same thing. You see Patrick Mahomes play against a Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett, Deshaun Watson beat him with a 77 passer rating. You throwing 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown. Patrick Mahomes has lost to these guys, man. He's lost to Jared Goff. He's lost to Derek Carr, as we just talked about, Ryan Tannehill. And if you want to look at what they did, 89 passer rating, 77, 61, 77. I don't know why you got caught up in this argument of if you don't play perfect, you can't beat Patrick Mahomes, when Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl one time didn't even play close to perfect.
Because to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs recently, I'm not going back to 2017.
You want to go back to the Super Bowl last year? Is that recent?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
To beat them
well, you don't need to do a lot to beat
the quarterback has to outplay Patrick Mahomes. Derek Carr outplayed Patrick Mahomes. He had more passing yards. He had more passing touchdowns. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes outplayed Jimmy G. Even if Patrick Mahomes struggled for 3 quarters, he still outplayed Jimmy G. To beat Patrick Mahomes, you have to outplay Patrick Mahomes. Can Tom Brady outplay Patrick Mahomes? We've already seen it once. No, he hasn't. We've seen him in the playoffs. He hasn't outplayed him in the playoffs. So I don't know why you think Tom Brady will outplay Patrick Mahomes now.
Last time, Patrick Mahomes has 1 playoff loss. By who? It get quiet now. Now you don't know what I'm talking. Who beat Patrick Mahomes has 1 defeat.
Correct. But you've you said on this show who lost that game.
I don't know what show you talking about. I do a lot of shows. What show you talking about, cuz?
That's the one show right now.
That's what you watch.
You said Patrick Mahomes didn't lose that game. You said you put that on the defensive line
but no player
yourself.
loses that game. Don't try and change the context of this. Let's talk about this. Tell me if this is too challenging for Tom Brady to keep pace with. First quarter of the Super Bowl last year, because I like using the same stage.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember a sports psychologist came up to me and said, I want you to put a 2x4 on the floor and walk across it. You had this before?
Yeah, and then put it on.
Hey, man, we on TV. Let me do this. He said, walk across it. Everybody in the room, doing flips. He said, now put that between 2 skyscrapers. Walk across it. Consequences. Let's talk about the consequences of Patrick Mahomes not playing so stellar and see how that works. First quarter, 5 of 9, 55% in the Super Bowl. 40 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 66 passer rate. I wonder if Tom Brady can do that. I think so. Second quarter, he lights it up. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but 96 passer rating. Third quarter, which people thought that, Patrick Mahomes, 41 yards, a pick, and a 34 passer rate. So far, you have not said a
Fourth
quarter. Fourth quarter, think about it. If as much as, be real, as much as you think he destroyed it in the fourth quarter, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 100 passer rating. I didn't say 141. I didn't say 158.3 perfect. 100. 10 of 17. Tom Brady like, dog, if you do what you did, and I am me in this situation where I am the best ever to do it on this stage, that's not going to be enough. I'm sitting here saying Patrick Mahomes has to elevate his game before you have to worry about what Tom Brady's going to do in the Super Bowl.
Big dog, if you look at Patrick Mahomes, this playoffs, right?
Okay.
And you look at him, he's given you 14 drives. He scored on 11 of them drives. 11 of the 14 drives he scored. The 1 drive he punted, it was because Tyreek Hill dropped a pass. Outside of that, they missed a field goal and he took a knee because they were so far ahead of the Buffalo Bills. So if you're looking at Patrick Mahomes, and you Tom Brady, what you mean like this might not be a challenger, but you got Patrick Mahomes? Tom Brady, the last time we saw him sell, pick. Like, that's the last time we saw Tom Brady. Last time we saw Patrick Mahomes, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, take a knee.
But put yourself, let's time travel. You prepping for the Super Bowl, but you on the 49ers last year. What you saw from Patrick Mahomes was the same thing you see from Patrick Mahomes this year. Greatness. And then you get into the game and you realize, he's just a mere mortal. He's just another man. And they had Patrick Mahomes' number. Or at least Patrick Mahomes didn't play like Patrick Mahomes plays. And then it starts to haunt Patrick Mahomes. Damn, here I go again. What if he gets off to a slow start? And then you know how the doubt birds start to circle. Man, Super Bowl again, and I'm not me again? And then the Bucs defense is not the same defense as he's faced to this point.
Let me ask you this.
Who's number 1 in turnovers and takeaways? Bucs defense. Who's number 1 in getting to the quarterback and pressures? Who has the most dynamic sack duo the last 2 years? All on the Bucs. He has not seen that yet.
If the league average for points is 25 points per game this year and the most prolific offense the NFL has ever seen as far as totality. Okay. But Patrick Mahomes scored 31 points his team did last year en route to winning a Super Bowl. Did he really play a bad game?
No,
he had nearly a touchdown more than the league average. He had 31 points, and they won by 11. Did he really play a bad game? You can dice up his quarters and say that in a quarter he was bad. But if he gave you 31 points, significantly more than the average, won by 11, gave you 2 touchdowns in the fourth, came back from down 10, did he really play a bad game? So if you're telling me that Patrick Mahomes is 31 points and his touchdowns, his comeback from down 10, if that's the hope that Tom Brady has to hold on to, hey, Patrick Mahomes might be bad, even though he scored 31 points, even though he came back from down 10, I don't know if I want to cling to that hope if I'm Brady.
It's not even about clinging to that hope. It's just respecting your opponent but not fearing them. It's simple as this. Last year in prep for the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes walked into the Super Bowl with 8 touchdowns and no interceptions. You know what he walked into the Super Bowl this year with? 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now, it's still perfect, but it ain't the same perfection level. The impact is different. And now he's going against those killers We'll see how it plays out. But a challenge to Brady? Look at his resume, bro. Nothing's that challenging.